The US banned it from government devices last December, and the EU banned TikTok from government devices last month. Canada, Belgium and India have also taken similar actions, but this is new for the UK, and it is, for the moment, only from government-related devices. Even in that respect, they've been quite specific and said that ministers or civil servants can put it on their own private phones or devices and still continue to use TikTok, but then when it comes to these government devices, it shouldn't be anywhere near them because they see it as a security risk. It's quite interesting to wonder why that is, and of course TikTok has itself spoken out against this, saying that they don't pose a security risk. But then let's remember that Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, all Western social media apps, are blocked in China. So perhaps a little bit hypocritical of them to complain about this. TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance is what lies behind this decision because, according to Communist China's rules, the intelligence services there can demand data from any Chinese companies, and the UK government and security services are worried that that means that there could be an eventuality in which all this valuable data that's stored by ByteDance and TikTok could be handed over to the Chinese intelligence services.
But Jonathan, help me think here rationally. If TikTok is indeed a ticking bomb, will banning it just on official phones be enough? Should it be removed from private phones as well, as you've been talking about earlier?
Well, there are those who think it could be a greater threat to everybody and that people shouldn't engage in using it. I think the issue here is multi-layered. One is about the data that these apps actually harvest about the users. And in that respect, they gather quite a lot of valuable data, especially for people in high security jobs who go into high security places. You hand over not only all of the information about what you're looking at, and that algorithm that's so good at pumping out content that will keep you from being bored shows a lot about what it is you're interested in. Also, of course, that algorithm can be manipulated to influence you. And that's another layer of this debate, because there are people who are saying that actually TikTok is rotting the brains of children in particular in the West. It's notable as well that in China, there are stricter rules on TikTok. Users can't look at it for too long in one go, and the algorithm works completely differently there, prioritizing educational science material to children rather than the more unusual, eccentric stuff that some of our children in the West are looking at. And there are those who think that that's a sort of long-term strategy of China to try and alter the brains and the minds and the priorities of the next generation in the West. If that all seems a bit too much for you, we can just rewind, reel it back in and look at what it is they've actually decided today here in the UK. And that is that these government officials and government devices shouldn't have TikTok on it because of the data that it is definitely harvesting on those people, and because there is this potential security breach for some of that data, whether it's geolocation data or all of the contacts in the phone's contacts book, for example, being potentially handed over to Communist China's intelligence agency. That, of course, is a very real danger.
Yeah, and before we let you go, Jonathan, obviously nothing is happening in a void, but is this move coordinated with Washington and with Brussels, or an independent will of London, so to speak?
Well, there will have been a lot of pressure on the UK to fall in line with the EU and America, which, as I said, has done this already. And this is a trend that's happening around the world. So as more and more countries adopt this decision, this sort of rule, we can only assume that there is some concrete data behind it, some concrete information of a threat or a potential threat that's making them decide that. But as for now, these threats haven't been revealed. The precise breaches that might have made them think this is important right now haven't been revealed to us. But this has been put into effect immediately by the UK government. So we can again assume that either this is a game of geopolitics trying to send signals to China, or that there is a bit more to it that we're just not being told yet.